flight?
Yeah, we're good, thank you. Pretty straightforward. Not that much of a change in time zones. Nice hotel here, so yeah, great.
Can I just ask you, obviously, about an hour or so before the plane actually took off from Edinburgh, Sir Ramaphosa was making a statement, the President of South Africa, about the state of COVID there and the fact that they were having to go into level 4 lockdown. Were you, as a group, aware of that speech? Were you taking it in? Has it been relayed to you what has been said in that meeting?
Yeah, we were well briefed in the hotel prior to our departure from Edinburgh by the medical team. They were very thorough, so nobody is under any sort of illusions with regards to how serious it is over here in South Africa, and that we've all got a duty and a role to play with regards to making sure that we do everything 100% by the book and not allow things to get stressed out or get on top of us. We realise how lucky we are to be given this opportunity, and we've got to pay due diligence to all the restrictions and the things we've got to go through. It's a way of life currently, isn't it? So we're very fortunate that we're here going ahead with it.
There's been lots of talk about potentially moving everything down to Cape Town. Is there anything that you can tell us this stage that has been definitely concrete put in place, or is everything as the original itinerary when you got on the plane?
Yeah, no, as far as I'm concerned, those decisions aren't mine to make anyway. One thing is concrete. We had a good session this morning, so I'm pretty glad that's going well. We had a 5 new members joining the party following the game against Japan, so it's good to get them bedded into some training and get some hard work done.
You've obviously had to name a new tour captain following the Japan game. Can you give us some idea and some insight into the discussions that took place among the coaching staff to decide that Conor Murray was your man?
Yeah, we didn't spend that long talking about it. Obviously, we had to make a decision pretty quickly on the run. There were a number of candidates that were discussed, but Conor, because of his experience, he came out on top, really. I'm sure Warren will be able to explain a little bit further, but as far as I go, it was a quick discussion amongst us to discuss those outstanding candidates, and then Warren made the call on Conor.
Saturday's game as we stand at the moment?
Yeah, everyone's available. We're in a good place. Everybody's been given a fit bill of health, so it's good to get going. We've arrived in South Africa now. We've had our first session under our belts. We're familiar with the hotel. We're familiar with the routine that we're going to fall into. So from here on in, really, it should be. I'm not quite confident enough to say plain sailing because anything can happen really quickly. However, we're comfortable in our surroundings. We know what's ahead of us. So we've just got to roll our sleeves up now and get on with it.
Thank you.
Robin, how have the new members settled in since joining up?
Yeah, it's good. Obviously, 3 of those members, they've been regularly updated with regards to being involved in various WhatsApp groups. So it's just Josh and Adam, really, who had to learn everything from scratch. But in fairness to all the boys, they're helping each other out. They're sitting in front of the laptops in the analysis room, bringing them up to speed. So, on the basis of this morning, good, we're not expecting too much. I'm not putting too much pressure, but slowly but surely, I'm sure they'll be getting there. And, by midweek, I expect that they'll be fully up to speed.
How happy are you with where you're at the moment, Robin, after arriving? Still a while until the tests, but happy with how things are going so far?
Well, yeah, the test is when we play, isn't it? And in fairness to Japan, they provided the test that we thought they were going to provide us. They were Rugby World Cup quarter-finalists that are strengthened in their own right. Yes, they pose different threats to what we're going to be faced out here in South Africa, but I thought as a run out for us, bar the 2 injuries, obviously, which were disappointing. I thought the questions they asked of us were great because, we know we're not where we want to be. yet. There's a bit of work to do. So, to play against a quality team like Japan, at least it gives us something to work with and work towards. They put us under pressure, ask questions of us in numerous facets of play. So, no, but really happy that we stood and we came through it. Like I said, there's areas that we need to improve on. However, that was the first game after everybody coming in, 10-day prep or whatever it was. So it's good to have something to work with, and we look forward to the next test, which is on Saturday.
Obviously, COVID issues in South African camp. Are you aware? Has that been a focus of discussion for you guys in camp, in Lions camp?
Yeah, I think I've already answered that question earlier. To be honest, we were well briefed before leaving Edinburgh on the seriousness of it out here. So that's all been taken care of. Diolch fawr.
Hi, Robin.
Hi there.
Forgive me if you answer this slightly when I cut out earlier on. Just looking at what the South Africans said last night, they said they'd accepted there aren't going to be any fans on this tour. Is that something you now have all accepted?
Well, we knew it was a possibility. Everybody was saying, listen, this is the worst case scenario. If things get better, then great. If not, then it is what it is. It was great to have the crowd and hear the supporters out in Edinburgh. But everybody realises how fortunate we are to be going ahead, and trying to put a smile on people's faces. I mean, okay, the crowd isn't there, but that doesn't set us apart from anybody else in the world. We've all got to, just get on with it. And the seriousness of the situation, it doesn't allow you to explore any other avenues. It is what it is. Let's get on with it.
Yeah, you talk about people having a smile on their face. From the outside, given the restrictions, the curfews and all the rest of it, it looks like a grim rugby tour. How do you stop it feeling grim for the players?
Well, there's 4 nations coming together. Everybody's seeing things a little bit differently. Now, whether it's a joke of the day or whatever it is, you've got to enjoy and embrace other people's cultures and the way they look at the game. Because of the time we spend with each other, it's a little bit greater than on past tours, but in that time it allows us to be a little bit more creative. So it's just a challenge that we've got to get on with, To date, I think it's been great. The boys have all contributed to what goes on in the field, what happens off the field. The welcome we've had has been outstanding wherever we've been. We've got Andre, the chef, who's making sure that we're all more than content and happy with the food that we're eating. And despite the looks of some of the coaching members, we can be quite funny when we want to be.
I suppose, as I say, from the outside, that those perceptions exist. From the inside, all touring teams talk about the need to have that siege mentality, if you like. Could this strengthen those bonds within?
Yeah, definitely. I think if we get the balance right, with regards to how much time we spend in each other's company, it hasn't all got to be directed towards rugby. There's got to be a social side as well. Whether it's just conversations in and around the dinner table. We were fortunate in Jersey to be able to get out and have a bit of food together. You just got to make the most of those opportunities. But yeah, you're right. Ideally we wouldn't all choose to be in this situation. We'd like to be able to sort of spend time with the supporters and our families over here, etc. But that's not the case. Now, whether that will lead into that siege mentality, because when you sacrifice something, then you do tend to sell yourself a little bit more to whatever the cause is. And because of those sacrifices, the greater they are, the more determined you will be to make sure that whatever it is that you're selling yourself towards becomes a success. And I think that goes for the whole touring party with regards to the sacrifices that we're all making to be here. On the one hand, we respect that we're lucky that we're given this opportunity as well. But along with those sacrifices, then seeing as we're here, then let's make a good fist of it.
Hey Robin, how's Conor Murray settling into the captaincy, and can you just describe how he give us an insight into how he is with the other squad members and what type of leader he is?
Yeah, he's only had an aeroplane journey to bed in, so his duties haven't been that great in front of the team to so far thus far. So I'm sure he'll bed in. I mean, there's enough experience around him as well. One of the things that we did discuss, whoever is captain, there are good leaders in and around the squad with vast amounts of experience. So whoever is named captain can rely on those other experienced players to lend them a hand and to contribute as well. But to date, he hasn't changed too much, which is great, because the last thing you want is a captain who think that he's got to speak at every occasion and just not be himself. So as far as I can see, he's just taking it in his stride.
Sure. So from working with him in Jersey, those 10-12 days you spent with him, what sort of character was he around the squad?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, try and involve the scrum half with the forwards unit session as much as possible, in order for them to take command of the forwards and to provide that link between the forwards and the backs. And because of his experience, Connor's able to do that. He's very vocal. He likes to be heard with regards to from a forward perspective, both in attack and defence. And that's all you want from a 9. You want a 9 to be able to lead the forwards. So from that point of view, in the sessions that I've been involved with, the unit sessions, he's been great.
Thanks, Robin. Cheers.
Cheers.
Hi, Robin. Simon here. We read that alun-wynn gave out caps to the new players before leaving. Can you give us a bit of a flavour and an insight into how Aaron bid farewell to the squad and any kind of message or encouragement he may have had before departing?
Yeah, he was typically alun-wynn, really, for anybody who knows him. He's pretty pragmatic and philosophical about the injury and how lucky he's been over the years. Both himself and Justin, really. They both looked at it in that way, So it's tough to take. Having gone through the preparations, I know alun-wynn was in top nick as well, and Justin for that matter as well. But alun-wynn in particular had worked very hard to put himself in the best position possible to lead from. But they were both very philosophical. They said, listen, we've had a good run of things. They've had a good innings. Things happen. I think it comes with the nature of the game of rugby, unfortunately. When you sign up to become a rugby player, a professional one at that, then the risk of injury comes with the territory. It's just unfortunate of the timing of it. There's never an ideal time, but obviously the first game of an opening game on the tour with the Lions, especially with alun-wynn as captain as well. Fourth time over, being a Lion. He spoke very well. I can't tell you word for word what he said at the cap presentation, but he kept his emotions in check because it's a big thing. But I thought he spoke very eloquently. He wished everybody the best, and just got on with the job, really. So it was tough. It was tough for all concerned, really. I know Jason Leonard was close to shedding a tear. If you want to use Jason Leonard as some sort of barometer, but it was when alun-wynn speaks, it's always from the heart. It's very heartfelt. So there's no way of getting around it. How disappointed he was, obviously, but he was able to get his words out and just do the job at hand. It sums him up, really, doesn't it? With regards to putting the team first, and it's not about me, it's about the team. So it's about us, and just go out there and give a good account of ourselves, really.
Cheers, Rob. All the best out there.
Thank you.
Robin, should we mynd nawr yn Africa?
Ydy, cystal am rhywun yn ddisgwyl ddweud y gwir. Da ni wedi cael taith eitha hir ar ôl Caeredin, ond gan bod yna gynlleiad o wahaniaeth yn yr amser, mae pob wedi disgyn i ryw fath o drefn yn barod. Da ni wedi cael un sesiwn cyntaf bore yma, felly oedd hi'n braf wedi croesawu'r 5 blaenwr newydd sydd wedi ymuno ar daith i mewn a cael sesiwn. Felly rwy'r amser i nhw ddod i arfer hefo y galwada ac yn y blaen, ond mae rhan fwy o chwaraewyr maen nhw eisiau cerdded trwy bethau, neu maen nhw'n dysgu fel maen nhw'n gwneud bethau yn hytrach na eistedd lawr a darllen ac yn y blaen. Felly oedd cael y sesiwn gyntaf yna allan o'r ffordd. Help mawr iddyn nhw hefyd ddod yn teimlo'n rhan o bethau, yn teimlo'n rhan o'r daith, rhan o'r paratoadau. Felly, ar hyn o bryd mae bob dim yn gret. Mae'r gwesti yn arbennig. Mae'r cogydd sydd wedi trefeilio hefyd ni, wneud yn siŵr bod pob yn hapus efo be maen nhw'n fwyta ac yn y blaen. Felly mae hynna beth mawr.
Mae'n bwysig. Y sefyllfa newid o hyd gyda'r pandemig yn Africa, i chi'n barod ar gyfer pob math o adrefnu falle yn ystod wythnosau nesaf yma?
Do, gafon ni cyfarfod cyn gadael Caeredin o ran yr update mwyaf diweddara, be di'r sefyllfa yma yn Africa. Mae pob yn deall pa mor ddifrifol ydy'r sefyllfa, a hefyd pa mor ffodus ydyn ni bod ni'n cael y cyfle yma i barhau a ddod draw yma i chwarae rygbi, a bod yn rhan o daith y llewod, a gobeithio medru ysganhau yr sefyllfa i'r cefnogwyr ledled y byd. Felly, mae yna ddyletswydd yn ysgwydda ni, ond mae pob wedi cael yr diweddara o ran be di sefyllfa, a ddim gadael pob byw ar ei nerfa. Mae'n rhaid i ddilyn y drefn. Does na ddim ffordd allan ohoni. Mae'n rhaid i ddilyn y drefn, derbyn beth sydd i fod, a canolbwyntio ar y rygbi. A dyna da ni'n neud.
Ie, o ran hynny. Ti'n mynd hawdd i gael ysbryd y garfan yn uchel, dim cefnogwyr yn y gêm i'r thebyg nawr, ond mae chwaraewyr sy'n fod ar dan ffigur Train eisiau chwarae ac pinnacle gyrfa ni'n rhan nhw.
Ie, dyna di'r her bod ni'n cadw y cydbwysedd, gan bod ni'n trilio gymaint amser gyda'n gilydd, bod ni'n cael y cydbwysedd o sut i ymlacio a faint o waith da ni'n neud ar y rygbi ac yn y blaen. Ond yn y pen draw, mae pob yn ysu cael Cris un o'r profion. Felly, da ni'n gweithio tuag at y 3 gêm prawf na sydd i ddod. Mae gennym ni'r 5 gêm nesaf yma, neu'r chwaraewyr y 5 gêm nesaf i profi hynny, i ddangos i donia. Felly, gan bod ni wedi aberth gymaint, da ni'n gweld yn teuluoedd, does na ddim cefnogwyr ac yn y blaen. Felly, mae'r aberth yna mynd law efo'r cyfle sydd gennym ni. Felly, does na ddim rheswm bod ni ddim yn canolbwyntio 100% ar wneud yn gorau glas i ddod allan yma, cael profiad arbennig, byth gofiadwy. A mae hynna mynd i ddangos a cael ei adlewyrchu yn y canlyniadau a sut da ni'n perfformio yn wedig yn yr 3 gêm prawf na ar ddiwedd y daith. Felly mae bob dim yn anelu tuag at hynny, gwneud y gorau glas, a wedyn gobeithio medru mwynhau ni yn yr cyfamser hefyd.
Ie, gobeithio wir. Yn olaf sydd fi, Robin, oedd colli'r capten Alun-Wynn Jones yn ergyd yn amlwg. Beth oedd ei neges wrth i chi hedfan bant o Garedin?
Ie, oedd o'n typical Alun-Wynn i rhai sydd wedi gweithio fo nabod o dros y blynyddoedd. Roedd y tîm yn gyntaf yn amlwg, yn emosiynol, dipyn o ergyd wedi gweithio mor galed i gyrraedd y sefyllfa yna, 4 daith fel llew, yn arwain am y tro cyntaf. Felly, dipyn o ergyd, ond fel dwi'n dweud, oedd y neges yn glir i bawb jyst mynd allan yna, yn neud yn gorau glas, gwneud siŵr bod ni'n fuddigol. A mi gafodd y neges yna drosodd. Heb gwybod torri lawr dipyn bach. Oedd Jason Leonard oedd o'n agos i ddagra wrth wrando'r Alun-Wynn yn siarad, ond i fod yn deg i Alun-Wynn ac i Justin, oedden nhw'n eitha synhwyrol yn deud, mae hyn yn dod yn rhan o gyrfa unrhyw un sy'n chwarae rygbi. Maen nhw wedi cael rhan eitha da heb derbyn anaf. Does na ddim amser iawn neu amser well ei gilydd i gael anaf. Ond na fo mae wedi digwydd. symud ymlaen, ac yn safbwynt y ddau nhw, eisiau dymuno'r gorau i'r tîm yn weddill y daith, a wedyn yn ddistaw bach, jyst mynd adra ben hunan, ond dipyn o ergyd, ond na fo, mae wedi digwydd, symud ymlaen, mae Conor Murray, captain newydd gen i ni, mae gen i ni sawl un sy'n mynd i arwain yn y garfan, sawl aelod mwy profiadol neu gilydd, felly dwi'n siŵr fydden nhw'n medru helpu Conor hefo'r dyletswydd na, a fraint na fod yn captain. Diolch yn fawr.
Robin, Siom i alun-wynn yn amlwg, ond gynhwoledd i Josh Nbeidi a Adam Beard. Beth y profiad fel iddyn nhw? Galwad ar y dysil a wedyn ar yr awyren y dydd Llun, a faint o argraff ti'n disgwyl iddyn nhw greu yn ei Africa?
Ie, pethau wedi digwydd digon sydyn. Dwi'n siŵr os oedden nhw yn Gogledd Cymru, yn y nefoedd Gogledd Cymru pam gafon nhw'r galwad, ond dwi'n gwybod mae wedi bod yn paratoi efo garfan Cymru yn eitha caled. O brofiad, dwi wedi gweithio efo'r ddau unigolyn o blaen, felly dwi'n mynd disgwyl iddyn nhw fod nhw gwahanol i gam i fyny. Maen nhw'n profiadol, hynod o profiadol. Maen nhw yn dod yma ar sail perfformiadau da, cry yn y Bencampwriaeth, lle oedd Cymru'n fuddigol. Felly dod yma, dysgu beth sy'n rhaid nhw ddysgu, a wedyn gafel yni a gwthio am un o'r crysau yna yn yr profion te ddiwedd y daith. Diolch yn fawr.
Thanks very much, everyone. Thank you, Robin.
Diolch.